Hi little yarnivores and spiderettes, Fiber Spider back again with the conclusion of the Lost Soul's Skull Shawl. And so previously I showed you how to do the repeat, then I showed you how to do a secondary repeat. Now I'm going to show you how to do the top edging so it looks all nice and pretty. So, as I said previously, you need to stop when you are approaching row 15 because we're going to be starting on row 15A, as it were, and that is going to be the start of our edging row. So in case if you aren't entirely sure where that is, it is the row where we just did the eye sockets and the second join, the bridge join of shell to shell. If you're better with visuals than with, actual written instructions. So I just did row 14, and now we're going to do 15A, okay? All right, so we're going to get right into it. Alrighty, so we're starting with row 15A. And to start with, we're going to do a chaining of 3. And then we turn the work, as per usual. And into the first shell, we're going to do a double shell. So that is, of course, doing 2 doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles, that's the one shell. Okay, then we chain 2, and then we do another shell within that same space to make it a double. So after doing double, double, chain 1, double, double, chain 2, we do another double, double, chain 1, double, double. So double crochet, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and double crochet, all within that same space for the previous row's shell. Okay, so we got our double, and then, excusez-moi, we chain 3, and we're going to do a single crochet into the half double crochet. Excuse me, my piece is getting a little argumentative with me. Sorry. So into this half double, going to do a single crochet stitch, like so, right there. And then over the 7 chain space of this eye socket here, we're going to do, 7 single crochets over the eye socket space. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay. Then we're going to skip this joining single crochet and do 7 more single crochets into this eye socket space. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay. And then we're going to do a single crochet into this half double crochet right there. Can always be a little bit tricky, but you can do it. And I wouldn't say, this is an exact science, as long as you connect it, really. There we go. Oops, see, spazzing out already. There we go. All right, so single crochet into the half double crochet right there. Okie dokie. And then we chain 3. And we're going to do a shell within this shell here. So that is, of course, 2 doubles, chain 1, and 2 doubles. Okay. And then crossing over this bridge here, where we had a previous bridge, we're going to do another bridge. So we're going to chain 2, and then do another shell into this shell right here. So that is, of course, 2 doubles, chain 1, and 2 doubles. Okay. And then we're going to chain 3. And now we're going to repeat what we've done previously. Now, for the sake of ease, I didn't make my entire shawl here. No, I did not, because otherwise this would take forever for me to show you. So, again, what we're going to do is we're going to do a single crochet into the half double. Okay. And then 7 single crochets over this 7 chain space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then we skip the single crochet and do 7 single crochets into the other eye socket space. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then we need to do a single crochet into the half double crochet right here. I always have trouble with the second one. Don't ask me why. All right, so single crochet into that half double. Then we're going to chain 3 again. And we're going to do a shell into this shell, chain 2, and a shell into this shell. Oops. So 2 doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles, chain 2, and then into the next shell we do another shell. Oops. So that is, of course, 2 doubles, chain 1, and 2 doubles. All right. And that we are going to do, so that I can keep these clips relatively straightforward and short, that is what we're going to do for the rest of this row. So I just did my shell, chain 2, shell. So then for the rest of this row, see, from here you're going to chain 3, single crochet into the half double, 7 single crochets into this space, skip the single crochet, 7 single crochets into this space, a single crochet into the half double here, chain 3, shell within the shell, chain 2, shell in the shell, and then chain 3, single crochet into the half double crochet right here, 7 single crochets into this space, skip the single crochet that joins, 7 single crochets into this eye socket space, then chain 3 and do a double shell into this space here. Okay, and I will meet back up with you when I'm approaching the end of this row, just so we can recap. Okay. Alrighty, so your piece should look something like this. I've just been moseying my way along, and I'm almost at the end of my row 15A. I did my single crochet into the half double, I chained 3, and now I'm going to do a double shell into this last shell here with you. So that's 2 doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles, chain 2, and then we do another shell of 2 doubles, chain 1, and 2 doubles. And that, my dears, is the end of row 15A. All right, be right back and we'll hit up row 16. Row 16. Alrighty, so I'm going to start by doing a chaining up of 3. Turn the work, of course. Alright. And going to do into the first shell space, that first chain 1 space right there, we're going to do a shell, so that's 2 doubles, chain 1, and 2 doubles. Alrighty, and then chain 2, and then we're going to do a shell into the chain 2 space, okay, which is right in here. So that is, of course, 2 doubles, chain 1, and 2 doubles. Oop, I missed one of the plies. There we go. Okay, so that's a shell in our chain 2 space right there. And then we chain 2. And then we're going to do a shell into the second shell of our previous double shell. So into that chain 1 space of the next shell, we're going to do another shell. So that's 2 doubles, chain 1, and 2 doubles. There we go. Alrighty. And then chain 3. And then we're going to skip 1 stitch and do single crochets for the next 6 stitches. So skipping that first one right there. Okay. Do 6 single crochet stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 'Did I skip that first one? Yes, I did. Okay. And 6. Okay. Then we skip 2 stitches and single crochet in the next 6 stitches. So skipping this one and this one. Okay. Going into the third with 6 more single crochet stitches. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, and we're going to skip that last single crochet stitch. And here comes the repeat for this row, which I'm going to do for you. So that was going to be, of course, let me see here. Chaining 3. Okay, and it's actually going to be in this area here. It's going to be just like we did over here. And what I mean by that is, after skipping that space, doing a chain of 3, we're going to do a shell into this chain 1 shell space, just as we have been. So that's 2 doubles, chain 1, and 2 doubles. Okay. And then we chain 2, and then into the bridge space right here, this chain 2 space, we're going to do another shell. So that's 2 doubles, chain 1, and 2 doubles. Okay. And then we chain 2 again, do a shell into this shell space. So we got 2 doubles, chain 1, and 2 doubles. All right. And then going on to the skulls once again. I have to chain 3, skipping the first single crochet, going into the next with a single crochet. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, skip 2 single crochet stitches, going into the third, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, skipping that last one right there, chain 3. Oops. That was 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to do the shells again. Shell into here, into this chain 1 space, shell into this chain 2 space, and shell into the chain 1 space. And that's going to be how it goes for the rest of this row, just as we have been doing. So we have a shell, 2 doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles, like so, into that shell. Then we chain 2, and we shell into the chain 2 space, two doubles, chain 1, two doubles, okay, and then we chain 2 once again, and then into this last shell we do 2 doubles, chain 1, and 2 doubles. And that is how the repeat for the rest of this row is going to go. Just mosey right along. So basically, from here on, it's going to be chain of 3, skip that first single, 6 singles across, skip 2 singles, 6 singles across, skip the last one, chain 3, shell in the shell, chain 2, shell in the chain 2 space, chain 2, shell in the shell space here, chain 3, skip the first single, 6 single crochets across, skip 2 single crochets, 6 single crochets across, skip the last one, chain 3, and then, last but not least, doing a shell in the first space, chain 2, shell in the chain 2 space, chain 2, and then shell in the chain 1 space. And I will be back and I will finish up this row with you guys. Alright, be right back. Alrighty, so again, your piece should look something like this. And I've been working my way across. And so now I'm at the end of row 16. So I'm going to finish this up with you guys. So that's going to be a, by the way, I skipped that last single crochet stitch there. So I'm chaining 3. And then into this first chain 1 space of the shell, I'm going to do another shell. That's 2 doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles, chain 2, and a shell into this chain 2 space right here. So it's 2 doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles, chain 2, and then in the last chain 1 space of the final shell, I'm going to do another shell. Two doubles, chain 1, and 2 doubles. And there we are. And that's the end of row 16. 16A to be precise. All right, and we'll continue right along. Onwards to row 17. All right, so to begin with, we're going to chain up 3, turn the work. Okay. And into the first shell here, we're going to do another shell. So that's 2 doubles, chain 1, and 2 doubles, like so. Chain 2, and we're going to do another shell, this time into the middle shell here. Two doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles, chain 2, and then into this last shell here, we're going to do another shell. So it's 2 doubles, chain 1, and 2 doubles. All right, so we have our 3 shells separated by a chain 2 space each. Then we chain 3. All right, and now we've reached the top of the skull once more. We're going to skip the first stitch, and we're going to do a single crochet into the next 10 stitches. Okay, so skipping that first one, going into the next one with 10 singles. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. And we're going to skip that last single crochet stitch right there. Okay. And then we have our repeat. So we're going to be chaining 3. And we're going to be working within these 3 shells now. So again, into the first shell, we're going to make a shell. So that is, of course, 2 doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles, and then we chain 2 into the center shell here. We're going to do another shell. So that is, of course, 2 doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles, chain 2, and into the third shell we're going to create another shell of 2 doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles. All right, and then we chain 3, and just as we did before with the previous skull, we're going to do with this one. So after chaining 3 right here, we're going to skip that first single crochet and go into the next 10 single crochets with 10 single crochets. All right. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I'm going to skip that last single crochet stitch, chain 3, and then we have our 3 shells once again. It's a pretty easy row, all things considered, I think. So it's doing a shell within this shell. So it's 2 doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles. And then we would chain 2, do a shell within this shell, chain 2, do a shell within this shell, chain 3, skip the first single crochet, do 10 single crochets across, skip the last one, chain 3, shell within the shell, chain 2, shell within the shell, chain 2, shell within the shell, chain 3, skip the first single crochet, 10 single crochets across, skip the last single crochet, 3 chains, shell within the shell, chain 2, shell within the shell, chain 2, and shell within the shell. I hope that makes sense. But it's just the same thing that we had been doing previously for this row. You know, just increasing his brow and increasing the shells within the shells. All right, so I'm going to meet back up with you when I am at the end of this row, row 17A. Alrighty, so I've been scooting along in my fashion, and I'm almost at the end of row 17A, and just want to finish this up with you guys. So I did my 10 single crochets across the brow of this last skull here, and skipping that last single crochet, of course, chaining 3, and then we're going to do our shells together. So it's 2 doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles, there we go, chain 2, skipping over this space, going into the middle shell with another shell, 2 doubles, chain 1, and 2 doubles, chain 2, and a shell into the last shell. Oh yes, there we are. 2 more double crochets, and then row 17A is finished. Yes, All right. Most certainly getting there. All right, be right back for row 18. All right, row 18, here we come. So starting right in, going to do a chaining of 3, turn the work. I know it's a little redundant, but I like to do it anyway. Alrighty. And into the first shell, we're going to do a shell. So that's, of course, 2 doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles. It's almost like a mantra with me today, isn't it? All right, so we've got a shell within the first shell. And chain 2, shell within the second shell, two doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles, Okay. Chain 2 and shell within the third shell. So that's 2 doubles, chain 1 and 2 doubles. Easy enough, right? Okay, so we've done our 3 shells separated by chain 2 spaces. And then we are chaining 3. Now, on to the top of the skull once again. We're going to skip the first 2 stitches, then we're going to single crochet into the next 6 stitches and skip the last 2 stitches. So we went from 10 down to 6. So skipping the first 2 stitches right there, going to go into the third with a single crochet. Let's go like so. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We're going to skip these last 2 single crochet stitches, chain 3, and here is our repeat already. It's getting easier and easier, don't you think? So after chaining 3, a shell within the first shell, 2 doubles, chain 1 and 2 doubles. All right, chain 2, shell within the middle shell, 2 doubles, chain 1 and 2 doubles. Chain 2, and then a shell within the third shell. 2 doubles, chain 1 and 2 doubles. There we are. And then we're back to where we were with the top of the next skull. So that is, of course, chaining 3. Skip the first 2 single crochets going into the third single crochet with a single crochet. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And we need to skip these last 2 single crochets, so we're going to chain 3. And we've reached our shells once more. Shell within the first shell, 2 doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles. And that's how we're going to continue on for the rest of this row, row 18A. And so I did a shell, so it's chain 2, shell in the shell, chain 2, shell in the shell, chain 3, skip the first 2 single crochets, 6 across, skip the last 2, chain 3, shell in the shell, chain 2, shell in the shell, chain 2, shell in the shell, chain 3, skip the first 2 single crochets, 6 single crochets across, skip the last 2, chain 3, shell in the shell, chain 2, shell in the shell, chain 2, and shell in the shell. Okay, and I will meet back up with you when this row is nearly complete. All right, so been moving right along, and in my opinion, it's getting easier and easier, don't you think? Really loving this. All right, so skipping my last 2 single crochets on the last skull of the row, chaining 3. We're almost done with row 18, so doing a shell within the shell. It's 2 doubles, chain 1, and of course 2 doubles. Like each stitch has a little friend, 2 and 2. So got my first shell, chaining 2, shell within the middle shell. So it's 2 doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles, chain 2, and a shell within the last shell. There we go. Okay. Just 2 more to go, I believe. All right. And onwards to row 19. Okay, we're almost there. Row 19. All right, so starting off with a chaining of 3. Turn the work. Into the first shell, we're going to do another shell. So 2 doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles, okay, chain 2, shell within the second shell, two doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles. There we go. Chain 2 and shell within the third shell. If I can get there. All right. 2 doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles. There we go. We chain 3. All right. We're at the top of the skull once again. So we're going to skip the first stitch, single crochet into the next 4 stitches, and skip the last stitch. So this one is relatively similar to the last row we did, because after that we've got the repeat. So after chaining 3, skip this first stitch, go into the next with a single crochet, and 3 more for a total of 4. So that's 2, 3, and 4. Skip that last single crochet, chain 3 again, and we've reached the shells once again. We're doing the exact same thing. So it is shell within the shell. So it's 2 doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles, chain 2, shell within the next shell, 2 doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles, chain 2, And into the third shell. Yes, we are going to do, you guessed it, another shell. So that is, of course, 2 doubles, chain 1, and 2 doubles. And we've reached the next skull. So that's going to be chaining of 3. Skip the first single crochet, go into the next with a single crochet. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Skipping the last single crochet, chain 3. And we're going to work into our shells again. And then we have our next skull. Again, skipping the first and last single crochet, just doing 4 single crochets across. We have our shells once again. Skip the first and last single crochet for a total of 4 single crochets stitched. And then our last 3 shells. All right, and I will meet back up with you when I reach the end of the row, and then we will continue on with rows, 20 and 21, and then this will be done. All right, almost done with row 19, and I did my 4 single crochets, and now I'm going to chain 3, and I'm going to do my last shells with you. So that's after chaining 3, you do a shell within the first of the 3 last shells. So 2 doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles, chain 2, go into the next shell with another shell. So it's 2 doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles, there we are, chain 2, go into the last shell with another shell, 2 doubles, chain 1, and 2 doubles. And that is the end of row 19. All right. Row 20. Alrighty, so I'm going to start row 20 by chaining up of 3. And I think that this row wins the award for being the easiest, because after chaining 3, I'm going to do a shell into the first shell. No surprise there, right? So 2 doubles, chain 1, and 2 doubles, chain 2, do a shell within the next shell, 2 doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles, chain 2. In the next shell, we're going to do, yes, another shell, 2 doubles, chain 1, 2 doubles, now across the next skull, we're skipping right over the top of the skull, and that is going to consist after doing our shell, chain 2, shell, chain 2, shell. We're going to chain 2. Chain 2. And we're going to go into the next shell with another shell. So that's 2 doubles, chain 1, and 2 doubles. And that is how the rest of this row is going to go. Just shells within the shells and chain 2s in between each one. Easy as that. So this row, it's a bit of a treat actually. And while I stitch, I wanted to kibitz with you just a little bit. Really enjoyed doing this series with you. Also, if you haven't seen it already, the other skull crochet project that I did, which was a lovely scarf. You know, if you haven't seen that already, check that out. Also, I have a bunch of other Halloween crochet projects. If you haven't seen those already, those actually I did last year. I have I believe I've got a pumpkin and a ghost and a spider. Really cute, really simple. Even if you don't know much about the technique of amigurumi, which is crocheting little stuffed toys, it's really not hard at all, and I will put links to those projects in the description box down below. And also, while you're crocheting, you know, if you don't need to follow along with the videos or a specific pattern, I have a bunch of audio readings that you might be interested in. Last year for Halloween, I did The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, and that is in its entirety, and I'll put that playlist in there. And I also have a lot of readings of Edgar Allan Poe. And so, if you're in the holiday spirit, well, listen to a scary story. Always fun. And so basically this row is just doing this exact same thing over and over and over again. Really nothing to it. And I'm going to continue the rest of this row off camera because it is that simple, really. And I will meet up with you when I finish this row, and then we'll do the very last row. All right, I'll be right back. Row 21, last but certainly not least. All right, so I finished up the last row, which connected the tops of the skulls together very nicely. And so for row 21, again, this is a very, very, very easy row to finish up. So it's going to be chaining up a 3. Okay, turn the work one last time. You and me together. And into the chain 1 space there, we're going to do a single crochet, chain 3, and then into the chain 2 space, do another single crochet stitch. Okay, chain 3, single crochet into the chain 1 space of the next shell, chain 3, single crochet into the chain 2 space, chain 3, single crochet into the next chain 1 space, chain 3, single crochet into the next chain 2 space, and so on, and so forth, all the way across. This is really, really easy, which I'm quite thankful for because this has been a long road we've traveled together, but oh so worth it, don't you think? And for those of you that have been doing this, I really hope that you get it finished in time for Halloween, for any sort of festivities that you plan on attending, or just being festive in your own way. I really hope that you've enjoyed this project as much as I have, because you know I love teaching you guys this stuff. Always, always. And I do try to post as often as I can, as you know, between the tutorials and the audio readings. I'm just mad about doing these videos for you guys. I love it. And I've got loads more in store for you. Aside from working on this, I have lots and lots and lots of projects that I have in mind. And some of you have been making suggestions for other projects, and I thank you very, very much for that, because one can never have too much inspiration. And sometimes I even do the projects that are suggested, if possible. I certainly try to. Not always possible, but I do try. Whether it's tutorials or various audio readings. I've been getting some suggestions lately. I've got loads of ideas for future audio readings as well. Yeah. I'm losing my stitches here. Ooh. So, yeah, loads more to come. So by all means, stay tuned, And, of course, as always, if you like this video series, please do hit the like button, because your support means ever so much to me, and it lets me know that I'm doing something right. If you didn't like it, hey, you're entitled, Everybody has their own opinion, and I respect that. And, excuse me, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, please do so, because, like I said, I've got lots more coming, and that way you'll be informed. And I've got lots and lots of ideas for the holiday season. And what else? Also, I am a big lover of horror movies. Very, very much so. And this is the time of year for that sort of thing. So if you have a favorite horror movie, I would love to know what it is, and if there's a particular reason why, hey, please share with me. Always interested. So we're almost finished here. 1, 2, 3. Going into that last chain 1 space. 1, 2, 3. And then, last but not least, do a slip stitch into the top here of this chain 3. There we go. You do a slip stitch like so. Snip your yarn, pull the loop out, and sew in your end. Oh, absolutely fabulous. And I love the way this grows up at the top. It reminds me of spider webbing in a way. Absolutely love it. And I'm so glad that I could do it with you. So listen, until next time, I want you to stay inspired, stay caffeinated, and above all, stay stitching. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.